Hello, and welcome to the Nightclub Podcast, starring me and my co-host Caleb.
Hey Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. So this is our channel, and I hope you guys enjoy these podcasts because we're having a lot of fun just creating them, and hope we can grow. And this
Please
sounds
make
really
sure to
awkward, but
subscribe.
yeah, subscribe, like. I doubt too many people are going to watch this because I don't think not many people care about two 14-year-old kids' opinions. But,
No,
yeah. But, we're just doing this for fun, really. And,
yeah.
so we're just going to get right into it.
Oh yeah,
We're going
make
to
sure to hit
probably
the bell
make,
icon.
yeah, we're going to make, when do you want to make this? Do you want to make these weekly?
We could do it like maybe like weekend.
We could do, well, depending on how well the channel does, we'll decide whether or not we'll do a bi-weekly or a weekly
Yeah.
schedule for the
Well, I mean,
podcast.
considering we're 14 and we have school,
Most likely
um,
bi-weekly.
yeah,
But, yeah.
it's up to you guys. Like,
Yeah, it's up to you guys. If you guys really like this, and you guys show us that you do, then just, tell us, and we'll be happy to make more.
yeah.
Alright, so I think we should just get right into our first debate, which is, cheerleading. Is it or is it not a sport? What's your
I
opinion
don't,
on this?
I don't think it's a sport. Mainly because, sports need like an objective.
Hmm.
Cheerleading, in my opinion, it really doesn't have an objective. You're dancing for a football team or a basketball team or maybe even a soccer team.
Yeah, and our cheerleaders do it all. Well, they don't really do it at all, but you
They
know,
don't
they
they don't
they
have a soccer
they're
team,
interesting.
unfortunately.
I like watching. They improve the experience of the game.
Yeah, they
Um,
they have one for basketball and football, but sadly they don't have one for soccer.
yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so. Um, I think in certain situations, like I know that there is competitive cheer, and
There,
that
yeah,
yeah, there's competitive cheer and people do that. I would say that's a sport, but like cheerleading on the regular, I don't think that's a sport because, you know,
competitive cheerleading. Yeah,
yeah,
that I would
like
consider that a
you
sport.
really all you're really doing is you're going out, like at least in our cheerleaders case, you're going out, you're dancing to a song, you're lifting up one of the girls, and then that's really it.
Well, to be fair, there is a team. There is a team of cheerleaders, lined up together, doing different dances, doing different, things to impress like the crowd.
Yeah.
So I would definitely consider competitive cheerleading a sport. So
Yeah. And
mm,
well, I guess we'll do you have any other topics that you can think of off the top of your head?
well, gee, I don't know. I feel
All
like we
right.
should have come up with this like earlier.
Yeah, well, we'll just get into our third topic that I wrote down, which is my basketball game that I just had today, and just my season in general. So
Yeah. How's your season going, Chris?
I mean, for the team, it's going all right. We're 1-2 right now, so it's not going great, but it could be. There's always still good, hope.
What were the teams that you've played so far?
We've played some of the best teams in the league, so I mean, hopefully when we play like the less, the worst teams, I'm not gonna say that they're worse, but the less skilled teams, that we'll get some wins and we'll be able to make like playoffs. And
So the
uh,
game today, how
oh,
how did that go?
My game today, well, for the team it was pretty bad. We lost by 25. But for me specifically, in the first half, I did nothing. Like, I was so bad at everything. I lost the ball 30 plus times. Not really, that's over exaggeration, but I lost the ball a lot.
Did you score any points at all throughout the game?
Did I?
Yes.
I scored two, and they were both foul shots.
Well, that's better than no points, at least.
I mean, I guess you're right on that, but
What
um,
position did you?
I usually play like guard. What'd you say there?
See, I didn't play basketball this year, mainly because, well, I'm not very good at it.
Oh, I'm not that great at it either, but I still play. I think it's fun. It's a good sport.
Pretty fun. Like I play street ball.
You ball up.
Yeah, I ball up on like 30-year-old men that are on
Dang,
my
that
pole.
sounds like the street life to me.
Yeah, it's gets pretty scary at sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Well, more on my game. The second half, we got into it, and I was just like a wreck. I did not. I was so out of it. I felt so bad. I felt like I was letting down the team. I wasn't doing anything. I was super pissed. And so I went out there. Coach pulls me in. About. I didn't start the half, of course, because I wasn't doing good, and I didn't start the game either. So I was waiting on the bench, and he puts me in pretty early into the game. So, like, I don't know, about 6 minutes into the half go by, and he puts me in. And I stayed in for the rest of the half because I played fairly well in the second half. I played good defense, and on offense, I didn't mess up too much. So, it's probably why it kept me into the game.
Well, that's good at least. Like you
Yeah.
got like playing time,
Also,
and you scored 2 foul shots, so props to you.
yeah. So, there was one Puerto Rican kid on the other team. I don't know, I didn't think it was important to say that he was Puerto Rican, but he was. And I was playing and I was guarding him. He was running down. He goes up for a layup. He socked me right in the face. Like my lip was
Uh,
bleeding. It was really bad. I didn't notice it
is your
until
like
after
lip
the.
swollen?
Huh?
Is your lip swollen?
Is my lip alright?
Is it like swollen?
Not really,
You know.
actually. It was like more of my gums, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it was. I didn't notice it until after the game that it was bleeding, and so I just go to my sink and I just washed my mouth out. There's a lot. It was yucky. I'm not gonna go into more detail. Don't want to get demonetized, even though this isn't gonna have monetization. Um,
Right.
yeah, it was pretty nasty. So yeah. Overall, for me, the game was alright, but for the rest of the team, it wasn't too good. So, you want to tell us about how you moved to where a few years ago?
Yes. As you know, Chris, I moved to where about maybe like 2, maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, you moved
Uh,
here back in like what, sixth grade?
yes, I moved from a place called Greenfield.
Greenfield sounds dangerous.
No, it's not like Springfield or
Sounds
anything like.
dangerous.
um, well, Greenfield was a much more how do I put this, like wealth. It was much more wealthy than where I would say.
Yeah, where's poor?
Yeah.
The,
Um, we just moved because we have like a tiny house and like we didn't have much like room for like our family. So we
yeah.
decided to move to where, considering this was the best house that we could find on the market.
Uh huh.
So I don't know the exact price, but like it looks pretty expensive. Like I have a nice room. My brothers have a nice room. Our
Oh, you have
family.
brothers?
Yeah, I have two.
Oh, you have two brothers. Like, how old are they?
Oh, they're both younger than me, but we're not gonna go into detail on that.
So they're little boys.
Yeah, they're pretty little.
Are they cute?
But yeah, I basically moved here, and um, I'm doing pretty okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm
nice.
sticking to wear schools.
Yeah, it's all right here. You know, you just gotta get by the crazies. We got some kook in our school.
The subs are terrible.
Oh my god, yeah. The one we had in history the other day, that was real. Or
Yes,
it was just. I don't think she was a bad sub. I think just the kid,
she
the
was just
kids.
she was just pretty ignorant about what.
Yeah. So I don't have any more topics, and we're only 10 minutes in.
Well, that's great. We could talk. Oh yeah, actually, I have a couple. I have one
You have one?
in my head. Yeah, are we gonna edit this out, by the way?
Yeah, we'll edit this out.
All right. So weird experiences. Have you ever gone to any games? Have you ever gone to any basketball, like football, baseball?
Yes. I'm literally going to a Patriots game this Sunday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, did you have any Did you have any bad experiences with game?
Uh, actually, I did, and it was at a basketball game about a few weeks ago.
Really?
Um,
What happened?
so so it all starts, and I was watching the kids below us, the kids a year younger than us playing.
Uh
So
huh.
they were playing, and we're getting ready for our game on the sidelines. And as we're watching them play, one kid gets fouled so hard he gets pushed to the floor, and so the other kid stands on top of him like a gorilla and like flexes his arms, and so another kid, which I'm not gonna name him, runs up and pushes him from behind.
Ooh.
And his mom goes insane. She literally runs down the stands and like threatens the kid on the team. And she's like, "She pushed my son! He pushed my son!" It was crazy, dude.
Uh, well, I've had like one or two bad experiences. I yeah, it's two. I have two bad experiences. So the first one was at a Red Sox game, and well, let's just say it was pretty dirty. Like it was extremely dirty in the stand. So me and my dad, we go sit down, and we're enjoying ourselves. We watch the game for a little bit. And I was saying like maybe like the third or fourth inning, like the guys in front of us were just getting like totally hammered. Like they got like there were at least 3 cups per like person, like really big cups,
Like
and they were like
they were zoinked.
yeah they were gone.
They were cadoobled.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the guys they eventually turned and asked and told me, holding a $5 bill, he told me, if you can name the governor of Massachusetts, I will give you $5. And so I go, can I look it up? And he goes, no, you can't. So I go, can I have a little bit of time to like think about it? And so he goes, he turns around and sits down. So I secretly tell my dad to look it up, and sure, maybe I was cheating a little bit, but hey, $5 is $5. Anyway, he looked it up, and I totally forgot who the guy was, but I told him the name. He gave me $5, and we continued watching the game. Um, after that, like maybe like 15, 20 minutes later, the guy turns around with a 20 in his hand, and he said, "If you can name anybody that is in the government or part of the government, I will give you $20." And so I go, for naming somebody in the government? And he goes, sure, why not? And so me and my dad look at each other all puzzled. we're just like, well, at least I'll get $23. So I just tell him, and yes, this was when President Obama, or former President Obama, still in office. So I just say, President Obama hands me the 20, turns around, and just has his head on his like forehead. Like I could tell like the disappointment in himself. Like he was not happy that he gave me that $20.
What did he think was gonna happen? Did you think you do? How old were you then?
I was about maybe 12.
You were 12 years old, and this guy just said, and did he not think you knew?
I don't know. Maybe he thought more younger than I was.
Like I'm 14 and I look super young, so I mean,
Well, yeah, well, both have acne, but I, he was just hammered. Like he
oh,
got me.
this guy was like he was
This guy was.
like I've seen people, drunk before, but I've never
Uh,
seen.
After that, this is actually pretty funny. He and one of his friends, like one of the players on the opposite team, hit a home run in the field, and so basically, the guy gets up, starts like jumping up and down, and the other guy threw his popcorn on his head, and it went everywhere. Like it went on the ground. It even went in his hood.
That seems like a rootin' tootin' story.
Yes, it really was.
Um. Oh, okay. I got a story.
All
And
right.
so we were at a Celtics game, and we got these really nice seats. I don't know how my dad got them, but they were really nice. So they were in like this booth sitting up top. There was literally a mini buffet there. It was crazy. And so we were in like a room. It was literally like a room with like a little balcony that you stood over and watched. It was crazy. And so, but you had to share it with a few people. So we shared it. So we were just waiting there before the game because we were in there like 40 minutes before the game was going to start so we could enjoy the room. And so he looks at me. And so my dad looks at me and he's like, "How much you want to bet these guys who walk in here are going to be really weird?" And so I'm like, "All right, I'll bet you $5 that they're weird." And he says, "Okay." And so, not even a minute later, do these guys walk in. Two of them are literally, like, they literally have clipboards with them. And I have no idea why they had them. And I don't know what they were doing the entire time. But they had clipboards with them. And they were literally writing down this stuff. And I'm gonna sound a bit racist here, and I'm not trying to sound racist, but these guys were Asian. So, like, my dad looks at me and he says, "Where's my $5?" And I said, "Hold on.
Oh,
I thought it was my $5." And so he gives me the $5, and we keep go. And so, yeah, they're literally just there all game. They're not half the time. They're not even looking at the game. They're looking at their little clipboards. They're writing stuff down. It was
maybe they're rappers.
what?
Maybe they're writing.
No,
Maybe
no.
they're
They
rapping.
were like
Come on.
they they were in. It was so weird. They weren't even paying attention. I don't know why they came. And like
So they
these were
were
the
just
nice
sitting at
seats
a mini
too.
bar, clipboard.
Huh?
They were just sitting at the game with clipboards.
They literally had clipboards.
That's why.
I don't know. That's the thing.
Maybe they're like inspectors.
Maybe like this was so weird. Like I was
Maybe they're
this was like 2 years ago also. Like this was really weird. I haven't been speaking of like sports games, when's the last time you went to a hockey game or have you ever been to one?
I've actually never been to a hockey game. I've only
I've
been
been
to.
to I don't remember why I went, but so for some reason I went to this like amateur it was like a I don't know, it was like an amateur hockey game. that we went to. I have no idea why we went, but I hated being there. I did not want to be there one bit. And so I
Maybe
literally
it
was
was
trying to
because it
find
was
some.
cold.
Huh?
Maybe it was because it was cold.
No, I have no idea why I was there. Like, I was so. I did not want to be there. It was just a burden to me the whole time. And so I'm standing there, and like, it's just, I was in complete agony. The whole game was boring. No one was scoring. The crowd was literally dead. Like,
Well,
it couldn't have been any just staler there. It was just terrible. And so I was finding everywhere. I was literally asking like these people that I barely knew. Like, there was people that I knew there because I guess it was like, I don't know, somehow we got tickets there. And I was asking people that I barely knew if they were leaving early. And so I finally found this one family which I did know pretty well. And I'm not going to name them, of course. And so they agreed to take me home. And so on my way back, I was literally like praying. And yeah.
well, I mean, those games get pretty wild. Like some hockey games, like sure, maybe that one was a little bit boring, but I watched like highlights of like maybe like Bruins games. And you said you went to an amateur hockey game.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. And there was also this thing where you got to throw pucks onto the ice, and if you got it towards this little target in the center, you'd win like a couple $100. Like if you hit the target
Uh,
in the center. And so we were waiting down there for 20 minutes during it, and we're literally waiting there, and we're just waiting to throw the pucks because we were excited. We were kids, and so we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And so finally, this guy comes down. He's like I don't know, he's some type of like uh official. I don't even know what he was. He wasn't a ref, but like he was like a worker there, and he was like, "Okay, kids, I'm sorry, but we're not throwing the pucks today." And I was so sad. I literally
uh,
wanted to
uh.
slap that guy so hard, and it just annoyed me so much.
That must have stunk.
We have hit the 23-minute mark on the recording, so that's cool. We just have
That's
to
good.
record for. Oh, we'll make this podcast like 40 minutes. I don't want to make it a long one. And oh no, what was the story I had? Oh yeah,
Uh
I
oh.
was gonna tell you stories about my summer camp experience.
Oh
So you
yeah.
see, I was so excited to go to summer camp, like the whole time. And this is the story of how I went home from summer camp early, and I was the only kid to go home over the summer.
Wait.
So
You went. Oh.
I was the only kid of the whole summer to go home.
that. Wow.
And so, alright, so this is how it begins. So we're going to this place. We're going to this camp. And I go there, and on day one, we pull up there, and I look around, and I'm like, this is it. And it's literally just, there's like a playground on the left, a pool on the right, this crappy pond behind it, and then like a bike area way back. And so there's the main lodge. It wasn't even a lodge, it was like a building. And so I go there, and I'm just sitting, and I'm going there. I'm having a fun time, during the beginning. And so I roll up there, and I meet my friends, and we're having a fun time. We're hanging out. And so
Yeah.
we're met with like the main counselor guy, and he says to us that we're like these like we're basically chaperones for like the little kid camp that comes in. Like it's like a day camp, of course. And so
Yeah.
we're just and I didn't have a problem with that cuz I thought, it's taking care of little kids, it's going to be fun. And so then we get divided into our lodges, or into our villages, which had separate lodges. And may I tell you, the beds there were so bad. Like they were just
They
absolutely.
have like pee
They
stains
were
and like.
they were literally held up by like springs, and they were the most uncomfortable mattresses. So I had brought a sleeping bag with me, And so I just
That
laid
was
that on
smart.
top and laid on the sleeping bag. It was so bad. I got horrible sleep there.
Well, why did you go home?
Why did I go home? So, back to that, we were getting divided up into our villages. And so it turns out you could request to go with your friends, and that's what all my friends had done. And I didn't. And so all of my friends, and so your villages basically decided what kids you were going to be working with. So I didn't get to hang out with my friends all day. Like I wasn't,
No.
so I was all alone at camp. And not only that, not my cellmates, my my cabin mates were so weird. Like one of them literally slept with like boots, his full gear on, his boots, his jacket, his thing on, and he was just really weird in general. And the other one was like this kid with like anger issues, and he had gotten kicked out of camp the year before. And so I'm like scared for my life that this kid like is gonna attack me while I'm asleep.
Well, I mean, he could have gotten kicked out for many reasons. It couldn't have just been for like maybe like a fight.
No, this was just, I don't know. It was really scary. Is what I'm trying to get at. And so yeah, so we get divided up, and so as a counselor, you're not allowed to do anything that the kids do. So like when they went canoeing, you just had to row for them while they got to do the fun stuff. When they went biking, you just had to watch.
Well, I mean,
When they played on the playground, you just had to walk around and just like talk to them. And that was
if
all
you
day
are,
until like 7 o'clock. And so then we got to do stuff, and that was kind of fun. But like the first 2 days were complete agony. The only thing I wanted was to go home. So I literally had to talk to like the counselors, and I was like, "Hey, can I please call my parents? I really want to go home." And they literally made me stay another day because I really didn't want to try it. Cause it was like 2 days in, they literally made me stay. And so then eventually they just let me call my parents, and then my mom picked me up, and I told her all about it, and yeah, I just went home.
so you
Never
didn't
going
enjoy
back.
like so you chose to leave.
Yes, I
Thought I
chose
thought
to
you were
leave.
I thought you were gonna say something. You got kicked out.
No, I didn't get kicked out. The counselors there actually thought I was doing a really good job. They really liked me, which I thought were good. And I say, the counselors there were awesome. Like, I loved those guys. They were so nice. They were really cool. And they weren't just, these, like, happy-go-lucky. They were normal teens,
Well, that's
counselors. They were really
unfortunate.
cool. I loved almost all of them.
I mean, maybe you could have,
What?
maybe you could have figured out, maybe like asked if you could move with your. Although, if there were like leftover
No,
bugs, of
and
course.
the guy literally said on the first day, he was literally like, I do not want to change people's like cabins, so you're stuck with what you get. And I was like, what? I only made it through like 2.5 days. Like I got through 2 days, and on the third day I got picked up at like noon.
Well, that must be it.
I will never go back there. Not like I wouldn't go back there unless you paid me $1,000.
Well, to be fair, it's not the camp's fault. I mean, you did shoot. You didn't really know that you could
Yeah,
be
but
with your
I still
friends.
didn't like the whole idea of that. Like if I knew that alone, I still wouldn't go to the camp because my friends didn't even know that at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I've never actually really been to summer camp. I've
No,
only
I
been
did
to.
not like. Do not go to summer camp. The moral of the story is, kids, do not go to summer camp.
Yeah, I've gone to a couple summer camps before when I was younger.
Mm.
Like I used to go to a YMCA camp, like YMCA for
Yeah.
the recreational center. Well, there was this overnight thing that they were doing, so I was like, hey, why not? And I think it would be pretty cool to get out of the house for a little bit, since considering I do nothing. play video games and lay in my bed all day. But so we go there. I decide to buy myself a 10-person tent. Like it could fit 10 people in one tent. Like it was humongous. So I get there. I get at the campground and I take it out. And the the amount of pieces and the amount of, like instructions there was absolutely insane. Like, it took me at least 2 hours maybe to set up the entire tent, and that was with I had help with a whole bunch of counselors and even my dad. Like it was so long, and so basically it was getting a little bit darker, and I admit that it was extremely fun. Like we played manhunt, we did like a whole bunch of games, we sang songs, we had campfire, we had s'mores, but I got no sleep that night. Like me and my friends stayed up on our phones until at least I don't know, maybe like 4 in the morning, maybe 5, and mainly because of the mosquitoes. Like the mosquitoes were terrible, and we had bug spray. But even like if we were to close up the tent, like we could not sleep. Like there were too many bugs. So eventually, I couldn't take it anymore, and so I left my own tent. Like I left my own tent. Like my friends were in there. Literally more than half of like the kids there were inside of my tent, and I was just laying in the lodge. Like sure, there were like maybe like one or two people in there with me, like, and we were like talking and like on our phones, but a couple, most of the kids were in my tent, and so maybe I got like 2, maybe 3 hours of sleep that. Like I just could not fall asleep, and like the kids there, they were pretty. I I probably wouldn't be able to sleep anyways. Like if I didn't, because like they were loud and they were like they just didn't stop talking.
Yeah. I never like going to like public things like that. Just weirds me out. Like,
Yeah, kids don't go to like
just don't
it's
go to summer
nothing but
camps. They're yucky.
it's nothing but bad.
I've just never had a good experience. I've went and like I've gone to things over the summer, like just like day camps and stuff. I didn't like them. Just don't go to summer camps. They're really bad.
Yeah, if I could be like I I don't really like the odd person. Like sure, like riding on bikes and stuff and like going to the court, but I just don't like like not one like it sometimes like creeps me like at night like when it gets really dark, and in the daytime it's just unpleasant. Like it's just like solitary confinement.
Yeah. So another thing about my camp was that we literally had to sit there for like 2 hours while the little kids literally just ran around and played tag. I used literally too much.
Well, back at my too, you could become a CIT, which is
Yeah,
like a
so
counselor
ours
in
had like a
training.
system. So like you would go from a a camper to an advanced camper to an assistant counselor to a CIT or no, there's no assistant counselor. There was a advanced camper. Then there was a counselor in training, and then there was a counselor,
What about
and then
directors?
there was head counselor.
Don't you guys have?
We had one.
See, the thing, like we had like at least 4 directors,
This
and we didn't even like really have just tr- like tribes. You know, like any tribes. You know, like the Cherokees, the Indigo tribe. I don't really know the black.
the black licorice tribe.
If only that was a real tribe, black licorice tribe.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to conclude this? I feel like, we're at 35 minutes. I feel like this can be a short enough
Sure,
podcast. All right.
sure.
Well, I
So,
hope you guys really enjoyed this because we really hope this does well. We're really enjoying doing all this, and I hope this takes off because I just had a lot of fun right now.
yeah, I'm having pretty
I'm
a
having
lot
a
of
good
fun.
amount of fun.
Yeah.
So,
Just
yeah,
give
like,
us feedback.
you know,
You know,
drop a like, and if you really enjoyed this, or if you kind of enjoyed it, because this is only gonna get better. Like, we'll improve, we'll
the
improve our
be
connection. Caleb, you kind of sound like a robot at times.
yeah, that
We'll improve our mics, we'll improve our connection. You know, it's only gonna get better from here. So
Christmas time is almost here.
if you hope to see this get better, then please subscribe because we
Hit the bell
really are putting
icon.
in a lot of effort. We created a channel, like we're really excited about this.
Please hit the
So,
bell icon.
huh?
Fight about this video
Yeah, just leave a like and please subscribe. We just we there's really not enough to say.
and give us feedback. Though,
Yeah, give us
you know,
feedback, leave a comment and just tell us how it was. Don't be stupid and say like, it was bad or something like that. Please just give us feedback and tell us how we can improve this.
well, I mean, if they do think it's stupid, I feel like they
Yeah, they have
they
all right to call this a stupid podcast, but we're gonna keep making them if at least some people like them.
yeah.
All right. Well,
All right. Hope you guys have a good
hope you guys have a good night
insight.
and goodbye.